What's going on, D?
What's up?
Had to do a wardrobe change. Had to switch it up. I put on different glasses. I should change the lipstick. I did.
I never know. We do what we must.
I was trying to switch it up since it's a different show and it won't be the same. Go ahead and drop the link for him, D. I want to hear this casual kind of. Go on and drop the link for him, D. I
How
want,
how Chat GPT stole his girl.
yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I got time. I got time today.
I don't
I
know
got,
about
I got time today. Or are you one of the ones on the couch? I got time today. I I got time today.
that. Your camera ready.
He said he was just joking.
Oh, yeah, you know I dropped it. I am all for all this tea.
Chat GPT stole
Cause
my
me
girl.
and Chat GPT, I've been testing out Chat GPT. I'm about to change my life. About to change my life for Chat GPT.
Oh, today's show gonna be interesting. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. It's gonna be a little different. A little different. Just a little bit. It's gonna require some audience participation as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's gonna require some audience participation. About to take over the world, Craig. About to take over the world, Craig. D, did you enjoy the last show?
I did. I did. And then
What'd you just
they
say?
started talking about the AI cooking. I was like,
The AI who cooking? I'm just asking
interactions
questions.
with roaches. I was like, oh, there's my breakfast croissant.
You eat your breakfast croissant. Did the robot make it?
No,
Why
she
can't
was
you
a
eat
nice
it?
lady. She made it.
I'm just asking, hey, anything goes, right?
No,
Anything
rotisserie
goes.
rat does not go.
Hey, we
No,
the FDA always lets a little rat droppings and roach scales into the food. They're like they ain't gonna die.
no protein.
Little protein
No protein.
make you resilient to
What the way my stomach is set up.
your stomach is set up to receive, and your body is gonna filter that out. That's right, she. We back. We back. I hope y'all enjoyed the last show. Hope you enjoyed this show. Get the likes up. Don't forget to subscribe. Shout out to the members that are in here. Shout out to everybody that come back every week. Also, as well, don't forget to go get the merch. We don't have our word from our sponsor anymore.
Yes, we do.
Well,
Do you want to play the word from our sponsor?
we haven't had a word from our sponsor.
I know, because you usually just jump right on in, but we do have an intro if you're ready. Ready for an intro?
I don't even know what it's like.
Uh, you want to see the new intro? Well,
Sure,
it's not necessarily new, but you'll notice a couple of differences.
sure. Let's go. A word from
Let's
our
go.
sponsor. I'm ready. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Women in Linux. I am Tam, and D is in the background. And we just want to share with you some of the perks of being here on our channel. All right. So, first things first, If you want to connect with us on social media, connect with us anywhere on social media at Women in Linux. If that's just too much for you, you can always come and find us on womeninlinux.org. And if that's not enough, we have even more perks where you can hit the connect button. Once you hit connect button, you put your email address in here. And once you put your email address in here, it'll connect with us in our Slack group. We have tons of resources in our Slack group. People looking for jobs, people just looking for advice, people looking for information, and so forth, right? So again, this is Slack. It's not Discord. So on with using Slack, warn you, it is resource heavy. So you may need to use either the web browser, or if you're on your phone, you should be fine. But if you're on your desktop, and we know most of you connect on your computer, it's easier to open it up in your web browser so it doesn't take up so much memory or so many processes and so forth. That's just an FYI. That's how I use it. Okay. And if you would like to shop with us, we still have our stuff from our 5 year stuff. Want to shop and you want to get some merch, feel free to come here and get some merch. Again, if you come over here and click on all products, you'll see on all the products that we have, from hoodies to masks and so forth and so on, right? And if that isn't good enough for you, you can donate. You can always donate with your time. You can donate with your money. So, how do you donate with your time? You donate with your time by saying, hey, I would like to do a presentation, or I like to volunteer on helping us grow the channel. You retweet, you share this with other members. In fact, for those of you that come here every single week, we know you come here every single week and you don't subscribe, subscribe. That helps us grow the channel. That helps us get more content to you. Hey, research isn't easy. I'm not getting paid to do research. I wish it was at a university, but hey, I'm bringing this to you, right? I'm bringing this to you and us and for others, right? So if that doesn't work, you can always donate on PayPal by clicking the donate button. Once you hit the donate button, you have your own denominations in which you can donate. And if that doesn't work to you, you can always reach out to D and you can cut a check and send a check. That works for us as well. All right. So, what are some other things that we actually do have as well? Right. So, we have a discount with IT Pro TV. You get 30% off. I've used IT Pro TV myself. I've done interviews with them. I'll pull those up as well too. But as you can see, I'm logging into IT Pro TV. What are the benefits here? You need to learn how you learn. So, one of the things you can do in IT Pro TV, you can come over here, you can click on courses, and it gives you a list of courses that's separating them out by certification and also separate them out by learning paths. You're like, Tamika, what does that mean? My four basic principles or my four basic foundations of skill sets that you should have is Linux. You should also have an automation tool, whether it's Terraform or Ansible. You should know at least a cloud. I don't care. Pick either one. And finally, last but not least, security. And security comes in multiple forms: security of the operating system, security of the application, and also security of containers, right? And cloud security. So it's multiple facets when we're talking about security. Those are your four basics that you're going to need to to get you a job and then move you up. All right. And we're going to talk about our membership here in another video, but I just want to get this out to you. All right. So that's 30% off of IT Pro TV. And last but not least, our Calendly. We have set up for our Calendly. Let me pull that up. I think I have it saved in my browser here, so I can just go straight to it. If not, I'll get it from D here. Here we go, right here. All right. So with Calendly, we have one-on-one sessions. That's where you get to talk to either me or D one-on-one session, right? Interview prep. Some of you are getting ready for interviews or you never interviewed before. We want to prep you for an interview. Resume review. Let's go over what you have, or let's pull all your skills together. Let's get things formatted properly. Let's get everything going. And last but not least, career assessment. What is your journey? What could it look like? What could you be going through? What are your next steps? Some of you are transitioning, some of you are not, some of you are looking to transition, and some of you are just trying to figure out what is your next step. So by saying all of this, we want you to enjoy your time here at Women in Linux. And also, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the share button, and last but not least, Last but not least, thank yourself that you actually did it. All right, that's all I have to say for you today, and goodbye. I'm
Didn't
back.
know this was missing.
Hmm.
That was good, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice edit, wasn't it?
I forget what the original was.
You don't even remember what's missing, huh?
Mm-mm.
I did a good job then.
Don't be a couch potato, a non-working couch potato. Don't be unemployed. Don't have your skills die either. Right? Don't have your skills die. All right. So today, you ready for today, D?
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, and I don't know if any of y'all thought about this. Oh, it should add the intro to the beat. Add the beat to the intro. But in the background, I guess so. You can do overlay. Um,
I need to pay attention to that.
hmm?
I said you need to pay attention to that one. It don't need no extra music.
we need all the beat we can get. We beat makers over here.
Let me. Um, hopefully, it won't be a flag on the play with that music. I had to
I don't know
reel
why.
the video. I
I don't know why.
you ask you and her too. I don't know either.
Let's straight.
I am not clear on why that
I sat up
is.
there. I studied and made that beat for like 2 hours. I was sitting down. I was like, "Ooh, what can I do? What does this do? What does that do?" I made that beat. That's my beat. I appreciate you. I like the beat too. We've been holding on it forever.
Tamika is she's a super producer in her next life.
Yep.
That's what
I be
she really
sitting,
wants to
I
do.
be sitting on the sideline making little beats. I do. I still make beats now.
You
Just
could have
don't.
been Angela Winbush,
I just don't do that.
Patrice Ruffin,
I
Missy Elliott. What's up with that? Live your dreams.
yeah. I got some beats I made over to some videos that I did when I was that we did last year with Women in Linux, and we was doing stuff. So I downloaded it, and then I infused it with some beats, and I just put the closed caption on there and just made a little lo-fi, because I was like, oh, I could do um a lo-fi Linux station where it's nobody talking, it's just the screen, a little music in the background, and people following along with it. Because I don't never see anything out there like that. I just see lo-fi music, but um I was like, imagine if you had a little lo-fi Linux stream that we could put up for 24 hours with, get rid of the sound of my voice, increase the font on the screen, and stuff like that. Yep, lo-fi Linux. Just let it run. I may still put it up. I got probably like 10 videos like that with some beats that I made. Because I think for some people, learning Linux is boring, and listen to somebody talk all the time. Sometimes you don't want people to talk. You just want to read. You just want to see them do it or read the closed caption. But if you could have something like that where it's the closed caption and some nice music in the background of it, and no words to the music, and you're just like, that's what I came up with. Because sometimes I don't even want to hear people talk. I just want to see them do the thing. Hmm. Let's see. The sounds came from Apple. I just put together just different things, sped it up, slowed it down, deleted some stuff, stripped it off. That's it. Nothing fancy. I was once Erica Badu in my past life. Oh, how you do
Not
it, Eric? Burning the thing. I was once Erica Badu in my past life.
Not Erica. Of all the artists, it definitely wasn't Erica.
What she made her that America album on just using the beats from Apple.
Oh, okay. In
That's
that
why.
respect. Okay.
Yeah. That was the America album. I think it was it's black and white writing on it with her afro or something like that.
I
That's what
say
it came.
Erica might be a little too nuts and berry for you. Even NDIRE will be pushing it. They're too nuts and berry for you. You're more like
They too
probably
nuts.
like Angela Winbush.
You think I'm more Angela Winbush than I am Erica?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why?
You fancy. You
Um,
fancy. You fancy. You look like Angela or Patrice Russian. Like they've been making money for so long and so under the radar. And you like certain conveniences in life. You're not growing your own vegetables and
I will grow my own vegetables.
incense and candles and all of that. No, no.
I will
You
grow
know
my own vegetables.
deodorant. No, I know it.
I know me too. I'm telling you. But I'm not like you where I'm gonna go out in the backyard with a tractor and now wait a minute. If I got a farm, I might do that. It'll be fun for me because I'll be on my John Deere. I wonder if this is right. Yeah.
You'd be stuck in the ditch. I
Why
have
would
to
I be
put,
stuck
you
in
have
the
to bring your radio out with you because you'd be stuck in the ditch. I
No,
wouldn't. You're not that handy, friend.
you're
You,
crazy.
you need supervision, friend.
You crazy.
Friend,
Dion.
friend,
Dion.
friend. You fell
Dion.
in the pool, friend.
No, that's because you tried to drown me.
Friend, I wasn't even outside when you fell in the
You tried to
pool.
drown me.
I wasn't even
You tried to
outside.
drown me.
You was trying.
Dion.
What? How'd you fall in the pool? Was you trying to pressure
No,
wash?
it was I was pressure washing and I stepped back. I'm talking about you and me being in the pool
Friend,
and
we're
I
not
can't
talking
swim.
about me.
You was like,
You was
get in the
already in the
boat.
water, friend. You was out there trying to be handy and fell in the pool and
Yeah,
came
I
in the
just
house
stepped
wet,
back and lost my balance. It's no big deal.
friend. You be like, how do I start this? It won't start for me. And you don't like reading directions, friend. You an engineer in that respect. Like you
That's
gonna be
that's,
putting
that's what
it
engineers
together
do. We'll figure it out.
and have 5 screws. Like that's no.
That's what engineers do.
You
This
can't you
go
can't
with
do
this.
that on the
This
farm.
go with this. This go with this. Wonder where this screw go, and then we'll go back and read the directions. That's what we do. We try it first, and then we go back. You don't like to go back. You don't like to do things twice. We don't mind doing things twice. We may screw it up the first time, then we be like, oh, aha.
I don't want no aha. I want to read to make sure I have all my pieces.
Yeah, we
I'm
make
going
sure
to
we got
read
all
it
our
through.
pieces.
I'm going to look at. I'm
I'm
spreading
just
my
gonna
stuff
look
out.
at
I
it and
need
be
to
like,
know.
this goes in here, this go like this. I ain't sure where this go. Or I'm gonna start putting it together and maybe it'll reveal itself to me. And then it'll reveal itself, and we'll take it apart and then we'll read it and we're like, oh, okay. That's what engineers do. You the one that gotta make sure you got everything. We don't care about that. This gonna work.
And then when it don't work,
Then when
who
it
you
don't
gonna
work, we
call?
fix it.
Who you gonna call?
We fix it.
Who you gonna call?
Me, we fix it. You come and interject and be like, "Did you read the directions?" I'd be like, "No, reading the
You be like,
directions.
I need some help. It don't work.
No, I don't need no
Did you
help."
read it?
I
To
be
me,
telling you,
that's
beat
did
it.
you read the directions? Did
I
you?
be like, "Beat it, Dion."
That's troubleshoot the 101 for me.
I be like, "Beat it, Dion." And then I tell you, sometimes I read them, and sometimes
And
I
then
don't.
most of the time you be like, that's waiting on you.
I see we're not gonna get many places today. We're gonna have to drop you.
That's fine. That is
But
okay
Dion,
if
let's
you
move
want to
on.
drop me. You about this time you want to drop me anyway. So
I do. Are you ready?
I stay ready.
The audience is waiting. They're not here for your shenanigans. Put a
They
one in
miss
the chat
me.
if
They
y'all
always
ready.
here for my shenanigans.
Put a one in the chat if y'all ready. All right. So, where do I want to start at today? We're gonna start different. This is different. This is different. Does like we here for all of it. All right, so
Yes,
cyber.
indeed. He is here for it.
All right, cybercrime. All right. Oh, and I need to share my screen. Do 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 boop do 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 boom and boom. Cybercrime is the world's third largest economy thanks to the booming black market. Right? Cybercrime. Anybody been had that stuff hacked? All right. Ransom as a service and malware sold on the dark web are still what's driving the growth of cybercrime. There was an article that I saw with Ion, AION. I think they are a data center, not a data center, big data. Cybercrime, yeah, right here. Ransom attack on the firm Ion could take days to fix. Ion removed from hackers' target list and the deadline for the ransom suspended. They said they paid them off. The cyber attacker said they did, but Ion said they didn't pay him off. Right? They said the cybercrime has grown to become the world's third largest economy after U.S. and China, according to the World Economic Forum. Based on data from Cybersecurity Ventures, it is projected to cost the world $8 trillion. Yep, I saw Tallahassee had got that up there too. 10.5 trillion by 2025. Anyone can buy access to the network's ransomware online, which is one of the main drivers for growth. Gordon told Cyber News in an interview. Threat actors do not need technical skills to launch sophisticated cyber or ransomware attacks. Right? There are more players in the game because of these tools are readily available, so you don't need to do anything. Right? Ransomware boom. We've been seeing that. People taking down whole gas stations. Right? Whole gas stations. There was again, there's the IoT devices that I talked about. This is why I keep mentioning things like edge computing and edge devices, DevSecOps security around that, right? Um let's see, attacks on critical infrastructure. We also saw, they say China got a balloon over Latin America. That's what they say. Y'all saw that, right? China balloon, Latin America. That's what they say. Now, another Chinese surveillance balloon is flying over Latin America. Now, if I know anything, like I know anything, I'm sure this balloon has been caught on the radar way before now.
That balloon been everywhere. That balloon just didn't show up and just inflate. Like that balloon had to travel. That balloon is on tour. It's an agitator. Mm-mm. Let that balloon go about its business. It is the deflecticon. What's going on? Why are we focused on this balloon? Oh, they shot it down? When did they shoot it down? Down to Earth said they shot it down.
uh, let's see. They say a massive Chinese balloon was first spotted over Montana earlier this week, and it was shot down. This ad is taken. Can y'all hear this?
No.
Okay. Well, you can watch the video.
Natasha, you will be surprised
Hold on,
what's already floating out there. It's satellites. Satellites
hold
in
on,
the
Dion. Hold on,
sky.
Dion. You didn't
Huh?
hear it playing?
No.
Oh, well, it's playing, but it's okay.
Yeah,
You can see.
yeah.
But what I was going to say is, Natasha, you say balloons. What's next?
Satellites is already out there. They can see you.
Space.
They can see you.
Space.
Come on now. CCT, like come on now. I don't even know why you asked myself that question. Come on.
Right. It's space. Space is the thing. I don't know if y'all ever read spacewar.com.
That balloon is a distraction.
Y'all don't read spacewar.com. Now you will. You will read Space War, right? You will read about that. Um, Canada says potential second incident linked to spy balloon. Um,
Trust me, they don't need no balloon to come over here and spy. Distractions.
I'm just saying, if you ever want to know what's going on, and you want to know where the money at, where the money resides,
You be in the house with foil on the windows.
I was just saying, here's something to read. Spacewar.com. If you wanna ever wanna read some stuff, go there.
You better not subscribe to Space War. You really
I ain't
gonna
say
be
subscribe, I said read.
no. I'm telling people, you really be over there with tinfoil hat on
Oh yeah.
and an outfit.
Just letting you know.
No, ma'am.
Here's a good visual right here, right?
Blow it up for me.
Air University, AU, I am. They have a newsroom here, they have a podcast, right? How to win the next space war and assessment. So I'm gonna blow this up. You can look at that and you can tell me what you see on there if they recognize anything. Blow it one more time. All right. So you be wondering like what be going on? Here you go. It's a lead into what I want to talk about today. It's a lead in. Satellite ground control station, ground links, military ground sites, right? How the satellites communicate, encryption in between, right? All right. Spatial situational awareness, pre-conflict positioning. Hey, listen, let me tell you this. A lot of people say this all the time. They're like, we don't want to know about this stuff because I'm not going to invest in a company like a general a GDIT or blah 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 blah. Look, the reason why you can click is because somebody got somewhere out there protecting you. Trust and believe. Reason why some people volunteer because they be want to go on a mission. Just saying. Just came out January the 5th. The calls for more progress on space governance are growing louder. Now, we just talking about space. We hadn't even start talking about Mars and the moon, right? And building let's see, building internet on the moon. I talked about this last year. Startup Aquarian Space aims to deliver high speed internet at the moon and maybe Mars. It came out March last year. I was talking about that. You can also go check out space.com. where people are already doing these things. So all you embedded Linux drones, robots, you trying to figure out how to break into tech, do business development. Those that are looking like, oh, can I do tech sales? Absolutely, you can do tech sales, but who are you selling to? What are you selling? Business development, understanding how what this company is doing and what contracts they can go after, who they can partner with. Storage. We're gonna always need storage. We're gonna always need data centers. We're gonna always need encryption. We're gonna always need security. We're gonna always need somebody to be a project manager over these particular projects. Um, and we're gonna always need skills, Linux, automation, um, hybrid cloud, a data center in a box. Have y'all ever looked at that data center in a box? Right? I don't know if you ever say it's a thing. Data center in a box. Also, a containerized modular data center is a self-contained computer facility that is manufactured in a factory and shipped to a location. It's a data center in a box. Right? Here's some images of a data center in a box. Let me see. It's an old one, but stuff like this, right? Data center in a box. Um, you want to be on the edge of stuff. You want to be fast and so forth. There's like a HP pod. Have you ever seen a data center on a F-35? I believe it was. Go back to all. Let's see, that's Lockheed Martin that won that one. Let's look at this. Open shift on a plane. Not the control plane. A flying plane. Let me see if I put flying plane. Will they give me a different view? Um, Smart Airlines and IBM. How airplanes are preparing for the next era of flying. Powering the airline with technology and data to deliver benefits. It's actually sound on this, but they're not doing anything. Right? Increasing turnaround time, leveraging mobile apps. Singapore Airlines was eager to digitize pre-flight briefings, saving their pilots time and at times up to 50 pounds worth of manuals. Right? Right? Just when you're thinking about these things, it's just so many different things that Linux touch and automation and stuff. You just be amazed at like how things actually work, right? Federal Aviation Administration and Linux. We saw the breakdown. Somebody had deleted a file in the database that landed all the planes, right? Right? So just little things like that. So today, what I wanted to talk about, what I never really talk about, is Linux in a global perspective. Linux in a global perspective. Linux in an international perspective. Space is one, planes is another, cybersecurity, along with Linux, is another aspect. But what we never have talked about is, and a lot of people don't even probably look at it from this perspective, what US companies could I work for, say, a year or two, and then go global with that company where I could work internationally? where I may work in the US this year for a couple of years, and then I may go work for the company in London or South Africa, or I may go work for the company in Australia, may go work in New Zealand. So I just want to give you a global perspective of having your skills and where you can take yourself. You don't have to just be here in the US, right? You can go with a company that is international. D, what are your thoughts?
I never not thought of our conversation as a global conversation. I know, we talk about, male, female, the community and things of that nature. But I never thought of technology in just the America, the
Mhm.
Northern America, United States per se. Also, I do post jobs in the Slack channel that are global, especially when that conversation when it comes to working remote, and overemployment, and just great job opportunities to give people a different perspective that you don't necessarily have to work here. What does that look like? What are you willing to do, either to work in the States or move abroad and work these jobs in Australia or London? So those opportunities I do post. So it is it's just interesting to hear you say that you had never spoken of it in a global perspective. But again, it's all perception in the
Mhm.
end of the day and where your mind is at. So for me, I've never not thought our conversation was a global one.
No, I'm not saying that, but I never show global jobs. I
You
never,
do sometimes. You
I
do.
never show global jobs.
You do sometimes. When we go through, especially in tech stocks and jobs, you
I
definitely
mean,
list
yeah, but I never
where the
like.
jobs are located. But I understand where you're talking about when it
Mm,
means drilling down into that and what does that mean. You
yeah,
definitely talk about, in the DoD space, going, out of the country to like a Afghanistan or something like that. But yeah, I get it.
yeah. I just want to think about it in a global perspective. So, what companies are U.S. based that you can work here, and then be like, well, you know what? I want to go international and work somewhere internationally, like, and you never know what could happen. You could, what I'm saying, you may like the area, you may not, but it gives what I'm trying to show is this: you don't always have to work in the US and then take time off and go travel somewhere else, right? You could literally find a job in the US, transfer to a position in another country, stay there for 2 or 3 years, and come back.
Yeah,
Now you get your dual citizenship, you get some perks, but now you get a chance to work in a like visiting the country is one thing. Living in a country is another thing.
it's a
It's
whole different
totally
ball.
different.
Yeah. And because my team we're co-located internationally, my offshore team is 10 hours ahead of me. And so when it comes and just talking about that when it comes to training, because my company is located in a different country, like if I want to take an in-person training or something like that, I have to get up like at 5 in the morning, or sometimes those trainings start at 10:30 at night. What does that look like? But for me, it created an opportunity where I can reach out and say, hey, this is a gap between our onshore and our offshore team when it comes to skill building. Who do I need to speak to fill that gap, and have a conversation about that training being made available to us, because it doesn't make any sense at 10:30 at night.
Well, JM, it depends on the company, right? You may be able to transfer your same salary over to that location. It depends. You may also be able to go over to that country, and even though that salary that you're getting over there, depending on what type of job, may include some perks. In other words, it may include, hey, we'll pay for your housing, or we'll give you a food stipend, or we'll give you a cell phone stipend, or If you go over here for so long, we'll give you this on a bonus, or it
Right.
depends, right? It depends on that. Good
And
tax
what type of
question. If
currency
you
you getting paid? Because I know for me, a lot of contests and stuff, that's in rupees. That's not in US dollars. Like you got to look at
Well,
those
that's what I'm saying. Depends. Like
yeah,
you may be able to take your U.S. salary to where you're at, right?
yeah,
It depends, right? Somebody said, good tax question. If you transfer internationally via U.S. jobs, do you still have to pay U.S. taxes, or do you qualify? It depends on the job. Like I know some jobs that I've been wanting to take over in like Djibouti or in Australia, whatnot, you do get tax breaks and you do get food stipends and you do get housing stipends. So it depends. And that's not me working for the government, that's as a contractor. And then sometimes they could you could be working for the government itself and you would get that. But
right,
it also depends on the job. So for example, one of the jobs that I was looking at, you get $96,000 tax free. They have a stipend that they give you for housing, and they had a stipend that they gave you for food, but they also gave you a bonus as well too. So you could come netting away for a year. You could come away with your base being 200, but with all of the perks and everything else, you may end up with an extra 100 to 150,000, and that's for a year. And then some people do it for 2 or 3 years, and this is after everybody's pulled out of Afghanistan. This is jobs that I'm talking about right now. So it depends on the company, what their position is, what are they doing, and so forth, right? Then there's other companies along with those perks that this particular company I'm thinking about. They automatically put 10% into your 401k. They also have equity. You have equity into the company, and they also give out yearly bonuses that they cap at 15,000, right? So you may get a yearly bonus on top of that, on top of the work performance that you get. It may be an additional bonus as well too. So like I say, it could range anywhere from 300 to 350 depending on what you're doing and whatever. And so some people take those jobs where where they don't have to pay for their housing, they don't have to pay for their food, and the food may be nasty or whatnot, but they don't want to pay for their food. So what I know a lot of people do is they just go overseas to lose weight, basically.
that's terrible.
They go overseas, they lose weight, they watch a ton of movies, and they work out, and they stack their money, and when it's time to come home, of course the flight is paid for, a round trip for them to come home. And so they come home and they got all this money that's been stacking up in an account somewhere, and they haven't been paying no bills because they don't have a mortgage, or the other family member has been taking care of the household or whatnot. So when they come home, they got 1 million, 2 million sitting in the bank because they've been over there making all this money and just pow, 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 pow. And then take that money and let it go buy some real estate or invest it or whatever the case may be, or and they invest while they over there or what have you. But it depends on the person. They just stack it away,
Yeah.
right?
And JM, for me, most of the opportunities that I see from foreign companies is that a lot of their salaries, they are listed in US dollars. Because when you're hiring internationally, there are certain laws. That's why the HR department is so important, and that you have to uphold. So a lot of that stuff is converted into US dollars, and of course you don't have to take it if you don't want it. Also, a lot of foreign countries, so that they can get a tax break to come into the US, they have offices here in the US. So they may be in, have a headquarters in, I'm just saying, Texas or California, Silicon Valley. Like most SaaS companies that I see, they're in Silicon Valley somewhere. And so I have to kind of like track it back to like where is the official headquarters at, and that type of stuff. So you just got to do a little digging because a lot of these SaaS companies are foreign companies.
Yeah, you're saying countries like Germany, they only allow foreigners to live and work only if it's a job that the company can prove that German national can't do it. The work visas are tricky and so yeah, I mean they are tricky, but you wouldn't go work for a company that didn't already have that taken care of, if that makes sense. Like I'm not
Right.
gonna go work for a company that didn't have that taken care of.
Right. But we
So
do this. I mean, U.S. does the same thing, JM. They do the same exact thing when they hand out those visas. That's why if you look at the H-1 visa and what are the requirements for you to come in, it is basically highly technical skilled people. And that is the same with any country. You know, you don't want to take jobs away from your citizens. So,
hmm. So what I did was, this is not all of them. I just went and downloaded a report that just talks about the top 100 global technology leaders, right? And the reason why I grabbed this report and we're talking about this because I want you to also get a sense of using your skills to travel internationally and work in different companies. I mean, well, in different capacities within the company, so that you can get a feel for, hey, maybe you work here and maybe you want to see the world. Well, this is an opportunity and a way to do that, right? This is an opportunity and a way to do that. So, Thompson Recruiters, the top 100 global technology leaders, defining leadership and in a world, I mean, in a new world order, right? This is a letter that they came out with. I don't want to read that letter. I want to go on defining industry leadership. The other side of explosive growth, identifying industry leadership. Yep, yep, yep. All right, let's get into it. I haven't read it, so we just going line. We're just going down the line here. The methodology behind identifying tech leaders. They give a preview of what went into what they identify, who and why they identified, or the basis of how they identified what was those tech leaders. All right, so they looked at, and let's blow that up. They looked at let me see if I get rid of this. They looked at financial performance, the asset worth, the free cash flow to an employee, meaning a measure of financial performance calculated as operating cash. And I could probably blow this up a little bit. Yeah, you can see that as operating cash, flow minus capital expenditures, the cash a company generates after laying out money to maintain or expand its asset base, leverage. They also looked at management, investor confidence, and innovation. The average patents per year, the patent grant application, the R&D spend, the innovation score, right? They also look at legal compliance, the average litigation per year, the product responsibility score, and their effect on the environment as well. It says one of the easiest ways, JM says one of the easiest ways to work and live internationally is to get a contract job. Yep, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's one way, right? That's and most of the people that I know that do contract work, that's how they do it. But if you don't do contract work, if you don't get a clearance, you can still partner with a company that needs your expertise to do some work. So it may not necessarily mean you may work in that country. They may utilize your expertise that you have in the states to help them internationally on something, and then they may either a sponsor a government contract or sponsor clearance or so forth. And I talked about clearances a couple of weeks ago about how to get your clearance, sponsoring clearance. What does that look like? Keeping your nose clean, so forth and so on. But like I said, everybody ain't gonna go down that route. So let's see. They also looked at their people and social responsibility, their reputation, and their risk and resilience, right? Let's keep going. So here is the data sources they looked at. Country check, TR value change, TR news analytics, TRSG, monitor suite, TR fundamentals, stand mine broker and estimates, right? Says this diagram shows the systematic method for ranking companies. That is the backbone of the program and which summarizes the process followed to identify the tech industry leaders, right? All right, so here we go. All right. So here's who they have so far, right? Accenture, Acer, Adobe, Advanced Micro, which is AMD, Advanced Test, Advantest, um, Akamai, Alphabet, Amazon, Amdocs, AMDocs, Apple, and these companies that are US based here, they're listed on the side right here. Applied Materials, I'll just read off the US ones. Um, Analog Devices, Autodesk, and CA Technologies. For those of you in Canada, CGI, Celestia, Capgemini has a big, huge presence in the U.S. as well too. Cisco, Cognizant, CommScope, see DXC Technology. All right, and this is their top 100 from 2018. You can always reference these companies as well too. Intuit, Intel, IBM, HP. HP is different than HP Enterprise. Facebook, eBay, Mantech still around. Mastercard, Micron, Microsoft, Motorola, Nvidia, uh, on Semiconductor, and Oracle. Let me see. And then they got other organizations here in the U.S. Salesforce. Let me see. Teradata. Teradata has a um, data center down in Miami, a classified one. Texas Instrument, Total System Services, Unisys, VMware, Workday, Xerox. VMware was bought by Broadcom, so they probably still open, but you would double check that, right? So again, Xerox, Workday, you can go look at these companies. They're international. They're U.S. based, and then look and see where they got positions elsewhere. Then they went over to the top 100 geography and outperformance metrics. Um, Here they got top 100 global leaders by headquarter by country. Of course, the U.S. has the most on this. Of course, it's probably a U.S. Well, I don't know. Reuters may not be U.S. based. North America here for 100 tech global leaders by continent. Um, Outer performance, blah blah blah. Year over year stock price. The top 100 have outperformed the S&P 500 information technology stock. They performed the Nasdaq Composite. They've outperformed the S&P 500 index and the MSCI World Index. So these top 100 have good stock performances as well too. Again, like I say, it's a double doing the double win thing, right? How can I get in a company that's international where I can go international? Their stock is actually performing well as well too, and also become an investor in the company that I'm working with, and also make money at the same time, right? And watch your money grow, right? They also have year over year percentage change from 2016 to 2015. They have that. Where they had looked like about 11.5% here. That's what it looks like right here, about 11.5%, right? 11.37 is the actual number. Are there R&D investment? Again, when you looking at companies, you really want to look at some companies that are doing research and development and what they're doing research and development in, especially those that are PhD. You can go out and become doing research under your PhD. It says when you apply for positions under current, is relocation assistance expected, or should someone look only for jobs that offer relocate? I only look for jobs that offer relocation, but majority of the time those jobs do offer relocation. They offer some type of travel stipend, some type of travel assistance. They don't have you out there on your own, especially in not in the places that I've been. Like for example, they would say, "Hey, you got to move over to such and such a spot." I'm like, "Oh, okay. What does that look like?" They're like, "Okay, for you to go, we're gonna put you. You got to pick out where you want to live. Here is how much it's gonna take to move your stuff. They'll pack you up, you and your whole family, move you over there. You need a school, help you pick out your school, help you pick out the school, help you pick out whatever you need in order to get you started. Like, I mean, I know a guy, he moved his whole family, he had 4 kids and a wife. She was a stay-at-home mom, and they packed them up and moved them to London. I know another one, they packed up and they moved to um oh God, what's the Belgium. That's what I was trying to think of. They packed them up and moved them to Belgium. So it really depends on who you're working for and the contract, right? Most people who bid low don't offer perks. They be like, you get over there while you can, best way you can. But they know that they bid it low, so their return on who they get to put in those positions is going to be low, right? So sometimes people who bid low on those contracts, what they end up doing is they can't never find nobody, and then they, out of their own pocket, they're forced to get you over to that location as long as you can start that job when they need for you to show up, and go from there. So it depends, right? It depends. All right, so let me see what else is in here. Let me shrink this down. I can do it to technology leadership. They have that. The Innovation Lab team, they're basically just talking about themselves on this last one. Solutions for technology leader, global trade management, global tax compliance, third party due diligence, supply chain management, investigative solutions, corporate strategy and development, and corporate treasury. I'm gonna tell you the one thing that's the most important, two things that are the most important on here is supply chain management and global tax compliance. The reason why the supply chain management part is important is because again, you're probably building something in that country. It needs to be meet a certain set of guidelines. That country's got to benefit off you building there, right? You can't move into a country and all the people that you hire come from the United States and work there, right? That's no benefit to them, right? So there has to be some type of supply chain. In other words, there has to be a a surplus supply of jobs to benefit that country, right? And then on top of that, you move people from another location over there to integrate into that company's culture, that establishment, right? So I just want to give you a different perspective on that. I'll put this PDF, and you can guys can go look at the PDF. I'm going to go back one link so you can see exactly where I got that from. If we go back one, here is meet the top 100. Define leadership in the 21st century. Tech leaders. This came out in 2018. There's a newer one for 2021. I didn't spend time looking for it. I'm just giving you a different view of how you could take your Linux skills elsewhere. Speaking of your Linux skills and taking them elsewhere, I actually looked up this. So let's go here first. All right. I got a ton of links here. I'm trying to see which one I want to start with. Let's go here first. Um, so this one right here, this is on LinkedIn. This is LinkedIn. This is Indeed. And I looked up Linux administrator, and you can just type in international, right? Um, really what I think what they're pulling when they pull this international, I think these companies are actually international. Um, and that's where they're coming from. So I wasn't satisfied with this because I saw a lot of jobs in the US, right? So I wasn't satisfied with that. So I went one step further and typed in UN jobs, and then I typed in Linux, and here we are. So with that being said, let me blow this up. A research data specialist in 3 locations, a computer engineer, um, someone that a consultant of security operations in Gaza, IT infrastructure security specialist in Nairobi, Kenya, a lead DevOps in US. Then you got Santa Monica. Then you got I guess it's Amen, information and communication technology officer, infrastructure engineer in India, senior infrastructure engineer in the Netherlands. A good place to start if you want to look at a company like that to go work in Amsterdam. Look at booking.com. All of the conferences that you see that are international, look and see who sponsored those from the US and also sponsor them overseas. That's a good way for you to look and see if they got headquarters over there. But booking.com is based out of Amsterdam. Um, see, a national consultant, a senior infrastructure manager, systems infrastructure manager. I went back to Indeed and typed in South Africa because I wanted to see what is that they have to offer in South Africa. So on Indeed, this is the for LinkedIn jobs. They also have a LinkedIn job South Africa, but here they have senior DevOps engineer in South Africa, senior cloud infrastructure consultant, a cloud systems engineer. These are all DevOps jobs right here. But again, I just wanted you to utilize these things that you see out here where you can look and see things from an international perspective. There's also remote okay, right? And you can come in here and put in Linux, and these are just remote jobs, but then you can come here and filter by worldwide. You can filter by North America, Latin America, Europe, Africa, the Middle East, Asia, Oceanic, or you want a particular country that you're looking at or whatever, right? And you can go by country if you needed to. So if we go to Africa, say you want to go work in Africa, look, no jobs found there, no problem. I wouldn't expect for this to be a big pool of jobs, but let's go worldwide. Okay, worldwide, cloud manager, canonical support engineer, tiny pilot, attender, service technician. That has these have been verified. Ready Tail, looking for a manual QA engineer. Um, RDX Works. It's closed. These are closed right here. But again, I'm just showing you, go out here, look at these different websites to see what Linux jobs are out there. I also said, well, what about Ansible jobs? If you may want to work in Ansible or Kubernetes or something of that nature, I implore you just to go and type these into Dice, Indeed, Monster. Look and see if they got uh, a version of Indeed or something like that in that particular country. Correlate that back with jobs in the U.S. or companies in the U.S. so you can be both. Right? I'm not sure how long the visas last. I'm not sure on that. You may have to find out about how long those visas last. Another one here is this is in New Zealand. I looked up jobs in New Zealand for Ansible, DevOps, whatever. These are jobs coming back from New Zealand. Then I was like, well, another thing I wanted to talk about was increasing your skills. Um, Look at creating your own Linux distribution. You don't have to do step by step, but I want you to get the understanding of what goes into it. So you can talk about it from a kernel perspective, from a security perspective, supply chain, a tools perspective. So that way you're very and you have a very in-depth knowledge for especially when you're working globally. Some people do require some in-depth knowledge. So tools to create your own Linux distribution. He kind of went through Linux from scratch and talked about it, what you need to do and so forth. I'm not going to dive into this because I think this is just a whole nother episode. I think this is just a whole technical episode. But I mentioned this because it goes along with your skill sets that I think you would need internationally, that I think you would need just to have in just in your toolbox to because again you're getting outside of the US. So what can you do to make yourself stand out? What can you do to make sure that people have you on their radar? Those things like that, right? Drop a one in the chat if you like what you're hearing so far. Want to get some feedback from you all. I don't want to stay too much longer. D, if you could drop the link, we got 10 minutes to talk. And we'll go from there. And I just want to hear what are your thoughts if you want to come up or whatever. We need to make a call-in show. We need to make a call-in show. I want to do a call-in show. Let's see what else we got. So of course, D's dropping the link. But I also want to talk about the 10 best paying jobs in 2023 and that are over 200. They are not anything technical, actually. They're not anything technical. Here, they came away with most doctor roles. Most of the roles are geared towards doctors, right? Anesthesiologists, oral and I guess maxillofacial. Is that right? Surgeons, an obstetrician and a gynecologist, a surgeon or orthodontist, a physician.
These still
Like,
STEM jobs.
like I get it, psychiatrist,
Technically, they're just STEM jobs. This is the
nurse and
science.
nurse and anesthesiast, a pediatrician, and a pilot. They ain't mentioned nothing about software developer, blah 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 blah. So I kind of figured they kind of geared this towards something
But
else.
at the end of the day, those are still jobs. They didn't say like that's a
Yeah, I get
practice
it.
or anything.
Most positions, internationally senior positions, no, they're not senior positions. They may be mid-level positions, but they're not senior positions. You can also go on for those that are cleared. Like I said, you can go to clearance jobs. You can go to candidates. You can go to where's the jobs at? Let me go back. Um, Let me see, because they have um, an international look, so you can go anywhere. You can just type cloud or security and see they got state here, and that's not what I wanted. Let me go here, clearance jobs international. All right. Here we go. Right here, click cybersecurity jobs overseas. Knew it's another way to get there. But anyway, you can pick and choose right here where you want to go work at. Ireland, Hong Kong, Iraq, Italy, Switzerland, United Kingdom, Luxembourg, Kuwait, Denmark, Norway, Guam, Cuba, Canada, Belgium, Bahrain, Austria, Australia, Afghanistan, Finland, France, the Netherlands, right? Another international company is HashiCorp. They have international jobs as well too, as well as GitLab. That's another one, right? It is all about where you see yourselves in this, right? You also have to look at what are the tax benefits for you going to that country, right? My best suggestion to you is talk to the people that know, right? The recruiters that know they're recruiting for that job, and then get with a tax planner so that you know what the implications are tax wise that you can get away with and so forth, right? The last thing you want to do is be out there and you're making all this money and then you got to come back and pay somebody something or whatever the case may be. You don't want to do that. Just bite the bullet and pay for it, right? Bite the bullet and pay for the advice and the knowledge so you know how to set yourself up, right? The other thing I want to talk about, if nobody comes up, the other thing I want to mention is a lot of people who go overseas usually sell their things here. You don't have to. However, you can rent those things out. You can rent your house out. You can rent your car out. You can put somebody in place, a power of attorney in place over your stuff that you trust. So that way, while your stuff is here making money as well too, you're okay. You're renting out your house. You know, if you want to rent out your house, but most of the time, most people sell it. But when they come back, they come back and they may buy something in cash. But you could probably come back to your same house or something like that, right? So
Go back out.
yeah.
You
So
like go
yeah,
back.
I'll go back. All right, I'll go back. Right. Places that most people I know go to are your Germany's, your Africa, Australia, and the Netherlands.
And why is it?
Dubai is another place internationally where there's always people calling to go work in Dubai. Those jobs usually pay going to work in Dubai pay 300 to 350. That's usually where they're at. They'll pay 150 on a base, and everything else is the bonus and the perks in terms of we'll pay for your living, we'll pay for X, Y, and Z. So you could literally go work in Dubai on a government contract for 3 years. They usually are 3 years. The overseas stuff internationally are usually 3 years, right? So there's another aspect that's not talked about here is the culture in which you're going to work in. So are you really prepared to go work in a culture that may not see you as a human, right? May not see you as whatever, right? So you got to be prepared for that. You got to be prepared for how they work, right? How do they work? Do they come in at 10 and then at 12 everybody take a lunch and then they'll come back to 2 and then at 5 they're done? Or what does that look like, right? So you will become part of that culture. So you got to remember that. All right. Do you got anything else you want to add? Nobody came up. That's all I had today.
Yeah, my question to you was why do most of your friends pick those places? The people that you know.
Money.
Is it just money? Is not language barrier or anything like that? It's just purely money.
Yeah. They're going for the money. They like the areas too. Don't get it twisted. Some of them go, I take it back. Some of them go for the money, but they also go for the access to other areas. Like I can get on a train and be in Barcelona. Or I can fly to Barcelona, or I can do this, right? Yeah, I am. I just talked about this the other day with D. I just talked about this the other day with D. Yep. I think I want to work the next 5 years overseas. Yep. Yep. As far as like selling anything, I wouldn't sell anything. I just rent out now. I may sell my cars. I may do that, but I wouldn't sell my house.
Would you though?
Mm-hmm.
You said you are so hesitant.
Mm-mm. No.
So
No.
I
No.
might sell mine. Okay.
Huh?
You can rent those out too.
I could, but I probably would sell them.
I
Yeah,
would too.
yeah, you would sell them too. Yeah, I would
I
sell.
mean, and it's one of those things you look at it as an investment. Like, am I going to make some money or lose some
I would
money,
sell them.
or am I going to stack some money? Like, what is it?
I'll pull
I
them
mean,
all. I'll
you
pull them
make.
all. I'll pull them all up the crown and like I'm getting rid of all of these. What we doing?
Because at the end of the day, even you pick some winners, and then
Hmm.
they just happen to appreciate. All cars don't usually appreciate like that. You know what I'm saying? You really get them at a good price, and that's not the case with everybody. So I do um, realize that some people are like, why does she buy all these cars? Well, they don't look at a car like you look at a car. So
I mean, you
yeah,
got to pick certain ones, right? You can't go out and get the one like you can't go get a Dodge Challenger and they mass produced it, right? You got to go get the ones that are the 1 of 50, the anniversary Porsche, the 007 Jaguar, the Senna, the ones that are unique, the GT from Ford, right? You can't get you can't go get the regular Mustang and be like, oh yeah, this is good. You got to step up and probably get like a Cobra Shelby, or like something that's unique about that one where they only have certain allocations for it, right?
right,
So like the anniversary Porsche, there was only certain not every dealership got an allocation for it, and so just so happened this particular location had an allocation and they had the car. So yeah, of course you'll get that, right? Because you can sit on that for about a year or two, keep the miles low on it, resell it, still get more bang for your buck and keep it pushing. Or if you are someone that loves to buy the used version of these cars, maybe 2, 3 years down the line, maybe 4 years down the line, you go and buy the anniversary Porsche. Now, you let somebody else take the depreciation and you come in and you got the anniversary Porsche, you keep the miles low, it's still a winner, right? So, it has to, it has to be the right something. It can't
right.
be right.
Right. And
Like,
then there's also your relationship with whoever your dealer is,
yeah.
and what they're willing to do and how they're willing to do that. Also, for people that be like, I just can't go get a Porsche off the lot. Like, you didn't start like, oh, a Porsche was your choice, but you
I
had
mean,
you
so
had
I mean,
something else. You
I
had a
mean, we could talk
Jaguar
about
before
that,
you had a
right? I
Porsche.
was gonna
Like
get a Porsche
that
off the lot.
journey, that relationship, it developed over time as well.
Yeah, but I was gonna go get a Porsche off the lot before I got
Right, but
that.
you
Before I got
were,
that.
but it wasn't. I'm saying that to say that it wasn't the right deal for you at that time. So you
No,
didn't.
it was the right deal for me at the time
Okay, so what happened?
before the Mini Cooper, but he was an asshole. He was an
So what
asshole
was your choice in not going somewhere else?
because I wanted to stay local. I wanted to stay within. I wanted to stay local. I didn't want to go to. I didn't like the people in Tampa. Every time I went to Tampa, people in Tampa gouge you all the time. So I didn't want to do that because I had already been there before, right? Um, and then the other location in Sarasota, we drove down to Sarasota. You went down there with me. You saw how them people were. You were like, this we ain't gonna get nothing down here. So it was more or less about the people than it was the deal. That was what that was. The reason why I didn't buy it at that time, because I was like, I wanted a comfort car, but I wanted a sports car. So that's how I ended up in the Mini. I didn't want a BMW. I could have got the 128i. I was like, well, it's a convertible. I was like,
What was
yeah.
comfortable about the Mini?
The Mini, oh, the Mini had the back seat. You had dynamic sport. You had the sunroof. It was black on white, black
It was
interior.
Panda. It was Panda.
It was Panda, but it was fully
It was
loaded.
the top of the line mini, but I'm just saying,
It was
like,
comfortable. It
was
had
it?
yeah, yeah. It was comfortable to do what I needed to do every day. And the mini got up.
Dynamic Sport. I remember the mini. She did.
The
She
mini
did.
got up, and it's got a BMW engine in it. But the back to the guy at the dealership. I used to go to the dealership, this Porsche dealership, all the time. And I was debating. I was like, do I get a 911? Do I get a Panamera? What do I do? I don't know. I was like, oh, I need a second car because I'm putting is this car eating up gas. Like my GL back then, it was $200 every 3 days. It was $200 every 3 days to go. It was every 3 days, every 2.5 days. It was $200 every
Woo.
2.5 days.
5,000.
Yep.
And here
So
I am with this Range Rover, and you like, I'm $25 a month. Like, I'm not going nowhere.
it was at 800 a month, right? Right. So I was like, oh, I need to get in something. But I was like, I want something that I won't want. Right. I don't want to just get a sports car. I went and looked at a 300. I looked at a Z. I looked at a BMW 128i. I looked at a Mustang.
I was there.
I'm just what the people don't know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. I was there. I you pull up. I'm like, what is this? Let's go take a ride.
Yeah, I
The
looked at a
Aston
Mustang.
Martin. I'm just like,
Well,
what?
I wasn't getting the Aston Martin to go back and forth. I was just getting the Aston Martin. I was just gonna get Aston Martin. Like the Vantage,
Anyway, yeah,
I,
let's go for a ride.
I
That's
was
the
just,
joys of
I was
working
just gonna
remotely,
get it.
though. That I was home and available. Like, what you doing? Let's just go.
I was just gonna get it.
It was so. It was so many cars.
I
It
was
was
just gonna get it.
the tour de car.
Yeah, but I didn't get the Porsche because the guy said to me, he was like, "I don't know why you keep coming in here. You know you ain't go buy nothing." And I was like, I told him, I looked at him dead in his face. I said, "You gonna eat them words?" I told him that. You eat them words.
He was trying to do reverse psychology, but he didn't know who he was talking to. You could have took that so many ways,
No,
but
he
I
was
didn't hear it
no,
in that
no.
context.
It wasn't no word verse. He was serious. He's like, we're not gonna take you out for a test ride because you're not gonna buy anything.
He sure did eat those words. He did. And the look of disgust on his face, like
JM,
the pull up, was just hilarious.
no JM. I don't like Corvettes. They look nice, but I don't like them. I've I've had my hands on three of them. I've taken them out. I test drove them. I done took them on the highway. I done opened them up. Now don't get me wrong. They're heavy. Them Corvettes is heavy. It's a heavy ride, but at the same token, they got blind spots like a mug. No Corvette, I get in the Corvette, they be like, oh yeah, we know they know they got blind spots. So they re-engineered it. And so they put so you can see out the back right here in the window. So you don't have to worry about looking to your side. They know they got blind spots. I don't like cars like that. Camaro is like that too. I don't like them either.
It looks nice, but inside I was like, meh. I hate that I do that. I hate that once you get over, like, you're like, oh, I like it a lot. Then you get in and you just be like,
Because you're not
meh.
buying it from the end. You want luxury sport.
But I
Sports
mean,
cars are not.
we have the same thoughts on the R8.
Yeah, but the sports cars are like so. But I know, right? I know what I like. But the most sports cars are not meant to be the luxury feel on the
No, no,
inside,
no, 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 no,
like
no,
that.
no,
Like
no, no,
any
no,
of the
no.
Lexus stuff.
That's not my thing. My thing is this is that, like, the Ashton. What was that? Was it the DBA or was it the? It was DBA.
Well, I brought them both. The Vantage.
Okay.
The Vantage and the
No, it was
DB8.
a DB8 because it was a more classic
It's
one.
both. I'm saying that you've seen
Right,
both.
right. But I'm talking. I think I'm talking about the DB8. For
Mm,
example, I know how to drive a manual. I know how to drive a stick shift.
no, that was the
So
Vantage.
was it? I don't think
Mm,
so. I don't think it was a Vantage.
it
But I
was.
know how to
It
drive
was
a
a
stick shift.
Vantage.
And so in driving the stick shift, I know what I want to feel that like. You know what I'm saying? In driving. When it's doing that shifting and all that stuff before, it felt like it was stuttering. Like it was gonna give out on me. Like not a cool daily driver. Does it look nice?
Oh,
Is
you
it?
have to put it in manual mode, but you want to stick in manual mode.
No, no, no. What I'm saying
You don't
is,
like
if
pedal shifters.
certain cars in their certain technology is just like, I don't like this ride. Like, it's about a smooth ride for me, especially if it's something that's going to be a daily driver. It's about the ride. Am I comfortable on the ride?
I just, I just
How
stick
does
to
it
the
hurt? Do I
base.
have to get in it before it get to it? Like, if I'm riding around the street and I'm backstreet Betty, I'll take the streets all over the place. And if it's not a good street ride, it can be really awesome on the highway, but it's about the ride for me.
Yeah, I don't need all that.
Even in the Hellcat, yeah, I was like, it rolled better than I thought it would. Even though it was heavy, I was like, oh, okay, I can see why they like this car. Would I drive one? No, but I
Why?
can see why they like
Why
it.
you want to drive one?
I'm just not a hell type of girl.
No, tell the truth.
What you mean? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Tell why you want to drive the Hellcat. Tell the truth.
What you
Shame
mean?
the devil and tell the
What's
truth.
my truth on the Hellcat?
You was like you don't want to get shot.
No, I didn't say I didn't want to get shot. So they're
See,
not
tell
gonna
the
pull
truth.
me up out of the Hellcat. I don't Hellcat problems. But it's not my type of ride. Like if I do muscle and I do American muscle, I want classic American muscle. I don't want hot boy muscle. I want classic 400 big block engine clean. Need
Yeah,
clean classic.
exactly. Why she this way, Tracy? Exactly. Why is she this way? Again, like
No,
I said,
I'm not. No, I'm just saying it's
like
my
I said,
preference.
like I
It's my
said,
preference.
like I said, when it come down to the cars, I like for them to look good with the top up and down, and I also like them to give me all my technology needs, right? It is so funny because everybody be like, it got Apple CarPlay. I'm like, I don't have an Apple phone, so that doesn't excite me, right? Um, so that doesn't matter to me. But I get what they're saying. Most people probably do have Apple phones, but that don't. I was like, can I listen to YouTube or my? I still have an iPod. Can
The
I
last
still?
time you listened to that,
I listen to it when I plug it up. I hop over there too and listen to it, right? But again, it goes back to like I said before, like it's the technology experience for me is probably more than just the ride for me. Like
technology like what?
um the sound system, the cameras, the convenience of the lift in the front on the Porsche, so I don't
Drive modes? Is it you like the
scrape the
drive
different
modes?
drive
You
modes.
want to hear the sound,
I want to hear the sound.
the
I don't.
pipes.
I don't like the quiet car. I saw the thing. Did y'all see that? They came out with a law for the sound of your car. If your car sound too loud.
JM said you can get a cigarette plug Bluetooth. That car too old. I'm sorry. I
Ah,
don't mean that car too old. That car, unless it's a classic, that car is too old. But in Dubai, you cannot drive a car
5 years.
over 5 years old. Like 5 years is the cutoff. Like they are not playing no games. You can't go in a car that's 10 years old.
Yeah, they
It's
got a
not
new
allowed.
law that they came out with about your car being too loud.
I like a loud car. I like a loud car. I like a loud motorcycle, like obnoxiously loud.
It's in New Florida law against loud car sound systems. They had that, but there's
Oh, that's
another.
music.
But there's another one that just came out like a couple of days ago about your car being too loud. Uh,
I love it. I want my motorcycle so loud the car alarms go off when I drive by and just hit it.
it just came out. I gotta look it up. I posted in the community channel today. Let me see something here. Let me go by tools. Let me search by this past week. Yeah, traffic cameras now can ticket you for having a loud car. So the traffic cameras, if the traffic cameras can ticket you for having a loud car, that means it's speaker is a mic on the traffic camera. That's what that shit means.
Yeah, like how does it sense that your car is loud?
Right.
What kind of
Um,
sensor is that?
you know you're under surveillance at the airport, in the bank, or federal building, but watchful eyes extend far beyond that. Depending on where you live, the government could be keeping tabs on you from the moment you leave your home. Traffic cameras have been around for decades, capturing photos of your car and license plates. They also can catch your speeding and so forth, running a red light, blah, 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 a registered vehicle. Here's the backstory, surveillances, blah, 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 blah. You can get pulled over, ticketed if your car is too loud. Police use a decibel meter to measure the noise from the exhaust. The noise ordinance target modified vehicles primarily. So now all us with modified vehicles, we're getting tracked. My car is modified. I got two cars that's modified.
It has been tuned.
It has been tuned.
It
I
has
have a
been
stage
tuned.
two tune on one and a stage one tune on another one. Right?
It has been tuned. And once spits fire, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't mind my car getting turned off at the light. You could
Yeah,
turn that on and off.
that's the
Yeah,
feature.
I mean
That's
that's fine.
fine. I mean, if it's saving the environment, then I'm all for it. It doesn't bother me.
All right. It says loud vehicles can be fined up to $800 for breaking the law, and that's just the first offense. The penalty rises to 26.25 if the driver ignores the third offense hearing. At least 71 drivers have been caught by the sound measuring cameras. Are they coming
Sound
to
measuring cameras.
Are they coming to your city soon through this program? Though this program is currently running in New York City, if other cities see benefit, who's to say they won't? I'm finna go make my car loud today. I'm finna go drive the loud one today. Loud. It ain't no good on that.
You go around the corner, you don't eat.
No, not this one. I drove it all week. It did good on a full tank.
It's
It
only
did.
going 11 miles.
It's all right.
Like,
It's all right. It's okay. What is your hate for? What are you
what?
hating for?
Who?
What are you hating for?
Who?
What are you hating for?
Who?
What is the issue here?
Who?
You need a nap?
Who?
You.
Who?
Oh,
Can't be.
yes.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Not me.
Yes.
That is not even in my vocabulary.
Mm. It's hard to say. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the show today. We got in talking about cars. However, the reason why we got talking about it is, would you sell your cars or would you rent them out if you were going overseas? If you're watching this replay, I want you to drop comments below. Let me know. Would you sell your car? Would you sell your house? What would you do? Would you rent it out? Would you keep it? Would you Airbnb it? Would you rent your driveway? Would you rent your backyard? What would you do? You going overseas? Everything's getting paid for. What would you do? Would you buy a sports car
Using all
overseas?
these assets. Using all.
Would you buy a sports car overseas, D?
Yes. 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 I
You know,
would
you will buy a
definitely
Range Rover
buy a
overseas.
sports car overseas. I would buy, yes, absolutely, absolutely, a motorcycle. Yes, yes, because I drove a Range Rover, and I saw the Queen of England Range Rover in Windsor. She was all over the place. She was in rivers and valleys. In my Range Rover, I went up a hill this big, and I had three-wheel motion. Like my air suspension was shot all the time. And my master mechanic was like the EPA. So a car in Europe is not the same car in the United States. So I just want to go over there just for the ride. I want to go through the mountains, the rivers, and the streams. I want to go to highways and byways. I want to drive a Porsche all through Africa and Ferrari in Italy. I want to do all of that. Absolutely. Yes. Yes, and yes. Hmm. I want to do it.
I'm just looking to see what kind of kit. What kind of kit is it? What does it do? It's for carbon. It's a Range Rover. It's a kit. I just want to see. So you go to Europe and you're gonna go buy you a sports car.
I want a BMW in Germany. Yeah, I want. Yeah, I want to ride. I want to ride the streets where they were meant to ride on. What? Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of BMW, BMW got tech jobs too, right? Overseas, indeed. BMW Group careers is really should be looking up jobs worldwide. So go check out BMW. Go check out most definitely go check out Ferrari. Go check out BMW. Go check out Ferrari. Go check out Toyota. They all have IT departments, so you can work internationally. General Motors has an IT department, even though they
They
go into
go
EV.
overseas. They have cars that you haven't even seen here. I
Mm-hmm.
I thought Peugeot just went out of business. Peugeot is all over.
Peugeot is like I used to want a Peugeot watch.
I had one, and
How you
it's
spell
a
it?
story
P
behind
E
my
P
watch.
U E.
Peugt. Yes.
Peugeot still around. They still around. Look at it. They even got their little car commercial.
Yeah, like somebody like India, they got a car that's only in the
They look
only
like they look like
manufactured
a
in
baby
India.
Urus.
It does.
Put a kid on it. It look like a baby Urus. I just put a kid
And then
on it.
some of these cities and countries, I don't even want to drive because I don't know which way they're going. I don't want to drive.
It look like a baby Urus. It look like a baby Urus. I put a kid on it. I'm blacking it out.
I want to drive on the Autobahn. Just, I think I'll wear my gloves there. Just,
Girl,
huh?
girl,
Huh?
girl.
Girl, what? I wear my gloves. My
Here's the
driving gloves
here's the
there.
Peugeot electric in Dubai. This is the electric car in Dubai. Electric vans. There's the Hala electric. Hala electric.
Don't do it. Don't. Stop
Hala.
it. Stop it. Stop it.
The hala.
Cut it out.
The hala.
Cut it out. Stop it. Cut it out.
The hala
Terrible.
electric.
Terrible.
Oh, speaking of
Speaking of
um
what?
um electric, what about Italy? Would you go live in Italy, in Milan, and work a tech job?
Bella. Yes. Yeah, I sure would. What? I would. I don't know about everybody else, but I most definitely would. But with a whole bunch of perks. Now I'm gonna have to get a I need. Can we look up those translating earpieces? Because I need to know. I want one. I need to find me one of those. I need a translating earpiece.
So the other aspect of tech that don't get talked about is teaching,
I don't want to
teaching
hear
and coaching. So you can do teaching and coaching internationally. So you can teach tech and also coach internationally in tech. That doesn't get talked about either. I think I'll do a show next week on that. I'll do a deeper dive.
I do. I wouldn't mind going to live in an old romantic city. That's how Athens was. It was so like metropolitan and then like so like wow, these are the ruins.
Yeah, Milan. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I mentioned Milan Engineering Academy because I saw the contracts that were coming out for Milan. Look, just like well, I'm ready.
What you be like? Yeah, I want to learn me some Italian. I just need me a couple of words in my earpiece,
Mm, be quiet.
and then I get to go because Italy is like Italy is long. Like Florida and California is northern, and then there's southern parts and all that stuff in the middle. Oh yeah, I'll be eat, praying, loving all up and through it. Terrible.
So right here, the U.S. Embassy and consulates in Italy, and here's the contract solicitations. Of course, you can go to sam.gov and get your sound registration and stuff like that. But here's a list of jobs just off the rip of just different jobs working in Naples, Rome, Florence, and these are not all of them, right? But I'm just giving you an idea of like how to look up jobs in Italy and these different countries instead of you going and not having employment and you want to go visit. Just go while you got a job that's international where you can do things like that, right? So just giving you a way to have your experience as well. Another other companies are finance companies, any bank that's international, any of those institutions that got tech, they're international, go there. Hedge funds, international, go there. Those are places where I would look at. Right? Those are things that I would look at. Just throwing it out there. That's all I got. Anything else, D? No, you ready for Milan? I got you. I saw your comment about somebody said they was thinking about dating when they when they said Italy.
It's Europe in general. Hey, good times.
Um, let's see. Let me find this real quick. It was something I was watching last night. Let me see if I can find it real quick. It wasn't about dating. It was more or less the apparel. Just regular apparel in Milan that I thought was real interesting. Yeah, right. That's one. This is Milan on the train. I mean, it's music to it, but we don't need to listen to the music. You can just see the video. Uh,
Yeah, because the music is what gets us in trouble.
yeah, so I just see like how people are dressed is what I was just looking at. Like the person was capturing, the style, the
I
cuts
love
of
it.
the coats,
Does it
the
snow in Italy? I love a good trench, wool trench,
you
little
know
scarf,
the
and then my
coats,
hat.
the style, the length, what people were wearing, so forth.
Look at that boot color.
D, when we gonna get
Oh, Auntie.
binary hustlers merch,
Or have something in the pipeline.
right? I was looking at the older women The when I say older
Italian
women,
leather is amazing,
the
amazing.
grandmothers and stuff.
We have a an Italian part of San Francisco, and going up there to go shopping,
One little hair.
Italian fashion is classic. I love classic pieces. Like,
JM, you said, is it better to go overseas as a single person? It depends. It depends. If you go as a married person, of course you get perks. You get more money. It's as a married person, not someone that is just shacking as a married person. But you can also go over there and check it out. I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, just because there's beautiful women over there, don't mean they like you,
ooh, look at that chocolate. You go,
right?
girl.
So you gotta do what's best for you, right? Get out into the mix. Most people that I know, they're married and they go overseas. So um, I know some guys that are single and they go overseas. So, but again, just looking at what people are wearing, what they have on, what's the day to day fashion, whatever, you go over there. Most people actually dress like regular Americans out there, but they trying to capture the unique style. Yeah, I mean, some of it is unique. Some of it, like, I don't normally, like, unless I'm in Manhattan or something like that, I don't see nobody walking around like her. Just on a normal, regular basis, I don't see that. The Emirates, Italy are great for places for take. Oh yeah, they pay well. I know the Emirates, uh, the in Italy, and Australia. Like I say, you want to make some money. You looking for $96,000 of money that is tax free. That's where you're gonna find that at. Just throwing it out there.
I love how their coats match the pants, match the shirt. Like, I just want to see like the closets because my coats that are in that section of my closet, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna
So
be like 26 in Utah. So it's like, what do you bring? Can I wear a coat? Do I have to try
and it's 60 degrees here. It was
26?
it was -2 last week. It's 60 degrees now. This right here is a t-shirt and shorts. You got to go outside in t-shirt and shorts.
So I'm just like 26 degrees. It I think it snows before and then we get a couple of days and then like that weekend it's supposed to snow. So
So they still don't tell me when we're leaving. You can tell me offline.
after the conference. So
Okay.
we don't get snowed in.
Okay. I'm shocked the men and women are similar heights. I knew that was the case in many Asian countries. It ain't the case in Amsterdam. Amsterdam got the tall. In the Netherlands, them folks is tall. Like she may be from the Netherlands. She might be from the Netherlands. She's tall. And when I noticed on one of the other videos, the mother and the daughter walk. They usually walk with holding the mom. Right, they're holding each other right as they walk. I was looking at the grandmothers. I was like, look at them with their coats and their shoes, jazzy grannies.
Jazzy grannies, the sexy seniors.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Yo,
But most of the Europeans that stay in our city, they're very fashionable.
that's where we're at. So yeah, whenever you get a chance, go look overseas for a job. Check it out. Yeah, I saw Walt. His jacket is bad. That jacket is bad. His jacket was fire. The apartments in Italy are not cheap. No, but I know it. Again, Italy is one of those ones that has a dying population as well too. So there are other aspects to Italy that they're giving incentives to come to Italy as well too.
Look at that coat.
Build and have companies and to have
This coat
children and
is a
marriage. So
lot of that.
they're giving incentives as well too. So just a FYI. Don't rule out being international, right? Don't rule out being international. Well, you can still have your US base and still go overseas internationally and kill. That jack can fly. Go on, John the Baptist.
I can't with you. I swear. I can't. I can. I not.
Yeah, well, check them out. Check out Milan on Trend. They just kind of got an overview of like what's going on Milan on a day to day, the different districts and so forth, as well as check out jobs in Italy, check out jobs in um, New Zealand, Australia, check out international. Look at how you can take your skills and be international, right? Don't sit here and let it go by and then you're like, okay, I got my passport. Now I want to go travel. And you're not sure where to travel to. Well, you can go work in some of these places and then travel. Like, you can go to Amsterdam and then get on a plane or a train or something like that and go there, right? So just think outside the box. Yep, lots of perks. Like I said, the guy that moved over to, I think he moved to London. I think he ended up in London, and they paid for his kids to go to private school, and they moved his wife and the wife and the kids, and they paid for their first 2 months of housing to get them established while they were there, and they were there for 3 years. So he was a strict Christian guy. He was a strict Christian guy, but again, he got a chance to have his kids see something totally different. His wife got a chance to see something totally different. He still worked. They paid for their stuff and build and went from there. So, just throwing it out there. You all don't have to be tied down to just what's going on in the US. Your skills can take you on a global tour and come back home to 1, 2, 3, $4 million richer than what you did before because you're not paying for as much. You're not, what I'm saying? You're not doing as much. You do lose contact with your family if you're not talking to them every week or every day or what have you. You will lose that, but you don't have to.
And JM, when it comes to South America, it actually is like everywhere else. Like, what's your currency? How are you living? Like, where are you working? What does that look like for you? Is it somewhere you want to go? Does it fit your life? Does it fit your lifestyle? So you have to make those decisions for yourself. You know what's going on when it comes to the laws and the people and the government and all that other good stuff. So do they have perks? Is it a city? Is it more rural? Do you have what does that look like? What does that position look like for you? So there's opportunities everywhere. It's just up to you.
Hmm. So that's just a FY. Y'all check it out. I hope this has been this is a Women in Linux International episode. You got to talk about cars, styles, fashion, the whole nine. And you also got a chance to see who's hiring, who are those tech global leaders, the 100. Go check that out. D posted that PDF. Go check those companies out. They have the companies that are US based, companies that are in Taiwan, companies that are in Hong Kong, right? You may want to work in Japan. You can go work in Japan. You can go work in Australia. It depends on how you see yourself. Go learn a new language.
Mm-hmm. If you
Take
get to the
yourself,
hospital, something happened to you, like all those
yeah,
things play a factor of where you want to go.
yeah.
We went to Costa Rica and stayed in the Santa Anita, which is the city.
San
And
Jose,
San Jose, no, San Jose was the city we went to go visit. We was in Santa Ana. That's
yeah.
where we were at. And shoot, it was the city. People going to work, just going back and forth. It was in the valley. But
And McDonald's was delivering food back then when we was in there. McDonald's
okay,
was delivering food. We went and ate at Applebee's in Costa Rica. They had a different menu.
Big
Um,
old mall, just like any other any
we
other
caught the
any
bus
city.
in Costa Rica. We, went around on the bus. The bus broke down. We was on the side of the highway waiting for the
Costa Ricans
waiting for the bus to come, the next bus to come. And we hopped on that one and then
just
turned
like they
around
came
and
from
came
work.
back.
Came on back, and then we caught a bus and went over to the
We
beach.
caught a shuttle. Caught a shuttle.
Yeah, we went over to the beach and we rode through the mountains and the valleys, through coffee farms. You can get one of those for 500,000.
Yep.
Running coffee farm, $500,000. Import your stuff, and we went over there to the beach. Totally different vibe, which was more rural. They were like,
Yeah.
you cannot
I
leave
don't
the
I
house.
don't I don't know how people go to Costa Rica and be on
Resort.
the resort. It's total different vibe. You just own the resort. Like, and then they don't want you to go off the resort, and then it really ain't nowhere to go once you leave off the resort, but go to another resort. Like, I'm like, that's stupid.
Or an activity. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to be gone 8 hours a day doing an activity.
The volcanoes is cool. The mud, the springs is cool. The horseback riding is cool, but they was like, you can go to the beach. I was like, this look like feed the children. I like, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna go. I'll wait till I get back to Florida. When you go from white sand to black sand,
It was definitely brown.
yeah, the coffee. Yeah, I had looked at a coffee farm. I had looked at a coffee farm, and the coffee farm was already income producing. It had six people that lived on the coffee farm to help run it. It had, its service ring. It had the field. They also had their quarters and so forth. So you could get, you could get an income producing farm for 500,000 with workers as well too, and live in Costa
Full
Rica
pass.
on your farm. And it had it wasn't just a coffee farm. It also had a farm piece to it too. So you eat and live off your farm, your coffee, your
Khalees
egg,
went and did it.
your
Khalees and
chicken.
her husband, R.I.P. She went and got to Costa Rica and got her a farm, and she over there making sauces and chilling and exporting and all that other good stuff. Like,
Mhm,
shoot, 500,000 is cheaper than a house in D.C. in the
mhm.
DMV area. Like,
Yeah, so you can go get a farm in Costa Rica. I looked at that. That's why I'm telling you all, like, when I talk about having assets, this is why I say, like, there's so many different plays to have assets, right? So you can have your income producing coffee farm and import back to maybe your local city in where you grew up at, and have your own coffee place there, and give the history of how the coffee farm became to be, and the different things that you've done with your coffee, and what you can do with your coffee, and things that you're trying. And here's our now you're starting to start growing and creating wines and different vodka, whatnot, and mixing it with your coffee. And now you got yourself a whole line and this. So, just thinking outside of the box of, how your tech talent can make you have assets and talent in other areas that you may already have, right? I'm not even a coffee person, but I recognize people drink coffee. I'm not crazy.
here, Tim, I just put you a link in chat.
Is it the same one?
What's that one? No, it I found a link and it said Costa Rica farms and acreage for sale, like 77,000 to 13 million. And then they have some for cheaper than that. Like, just tropical.
295 for 15 acres, right? 69 acres, 495 is a vegetable farm. Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
productive coffee farm. Just
All right, this is 7 acres for 500. You got your house on there. You got pictures. Do a little renovation. There you go. And if you wanted to, you can start your own little Airbnb over here. Where you got people coming in, you giving them the little tour of the farm and whatnot. Rent out the rooms.
retreat. Go get your
Yeah,
mind right.
yeah. Wellness retreat, something like
Sell
that.
your little beads and stuff.
Right. 220 acres for 300,000. Wonder how much they paid for it. There's about 2.5 acres where they're with some pasture for cows or horses and for building great climate control on your own vegetables and so forth. The Caribbean beaches are good 2 hour away, and San Jose is 3 hours. So that sounds like you're in the middle of the map.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the middle. Because there is a Caribbean side, that's the black side.
It was really like a fishbowl. We were like getting so many looks. I was like, whoa. And these are
Again,
investments.
put your that sign up bonus that you talking about you may get, go buy you some land. Right. So what I'm not sure about is that's something you're gonna have to invest in time in is figure out what do you need to do that investment, like to buy that land, to buy something overseas. What does that look like? You'll have to figure that out. But again, we have treaties and partnerships with all these different places. So if you're buying something that's income producing and you're hiring people locally, you're probably getting some type of stipend, some type of not just a stipend, but what's the word I'm looking for? Tax incentives is what I'm looking for by doing that. So just keep that in mind. Are you putting in more links, Steve?
This is one. This shows a coffee farm running. 650. And they have you can set it up on the little plant. They call it the coffee plantation. Set it up on a little tour. Have people come by, sip a little coffee, stay.
How many acres? 50 acres. 50 acres, 14 have been dedicated to producing some of the best coffee in the area. I wouldn't just be saying that. We have a coffee shop here in Costa Rica. Finding good local coffee is not easy. This is the best it gets at 4,100 feet altitude, 50 acres at above sea level. Costa Rica will close the very close to La Amistad International Park. What are pictures at?
At the bottom, scroll down at the bottom.
Uh, this must be the housing for the peoples.
They might be just like little cabins. Yeah, Airbnb 188, 1.7 acres for 48. Beach lots 25,000. Off the grid organic veggies and spring waters 37,000.
Yep.
So it's all on what you're looking for.
So I know what you want to spend too.
And it's in the rainforest. So
They do have critters.
they got ecosystems, 7 different ones.
Hey. We went and looked at the ecosystem of Costa Rica as well too, like all the different critters, the rainforest that they have, and so forth. PayPal is over there. Um, PayPal. What was the other? Western Union, of course, is there.
They got a lot of call centers. Big companies
Call
have call
centers.
centers down there.
Yep. So again, when you're looking, look outside the box. Um, yeah, I looked up call centers Costa Rica. You can go on the website on just look that up for yourself and see who's out there, what call centers are there, and what call centers can you set up in Costa Rica for your coffee
And they got
situation.
pineapple galore. Pineapple, butterflies, tequila.
Yeah. So thanks for stopping by today, Women in Linux International. I don't know, y'all let me know if you like Women in Linux International. We may make a monthly segment out of that, where we focused on a country where you could talk about Linux from a global perspective, where we do a deeper dive on New Zealand or Australia or the jobs or something of that nature. I mean, we could spin that so many different ways, country wise, right? And the skills that they're looking for. We do have some people that we could probably bring on the show. Yeah, yeah. So think outside the box. Your skills are just not here in the U.S. And we'll catch y'all next week. Y'all be safe. Um, and don't forget, don't be a couch potato with no skills. You can be a couch potato, but don't be a couch
Philip.
potato with no skills. All right, y'all be safe.